Hello friends, welcome back. I am Jason and I just brought home the mother load. That is roughly 1,000 gallons, give or take, 1,000 gallons of used vegetable oil. Yet to be filtered, of course, but it is ready to go into my totes that I have for storage. And this is roughly, if I drive, on average, I use about a half a tank, about 20 gallons a week. That's my normal driving just around town and whatever I got to do. That's not counting road trips and stuff like that. So roughly 20 gallons a week. That's 80 gallons a month if my math is correct. So this is roughly, very, very loosely, a year's supply of just daily driving fuel. That's pretty dang significant in my book. I don't know about yours, but I am pretty stoked about all this grease right here. Now, if you eat out at a restaurant at any given point in time, this is probably what they're cooking your food in. You know, pretty much any kind of fast food, or even like your mom and pop fryers and stuff like that. You go and get some hot wings or something. This is probably going to be something like what your food is cooked in. And after using that oil, it gets kind of dark and gets kind of nasty and dirty, and they have to swap it out. And that's where I come in. So my truck gets roughly, somewhere between 12 and 15 miles per gallon. And regardless of what I'm burning. So a lot of people ask that question. They say, if you're running vegetable oil or you're running diesel fuel, because my truck runs on both, does it affect performance or gas mileage? No, the answer is no, it doesn't. I feel no difference when it switches over automatically to vegetable oil from diesel. You don't feel it. There's no decrease in power. There's no difference in fuel economy. The engine does not know the difference, basically. And this right here, for those of you that are unfamiliar, that right there is my vegetable oil fuel tank. That came out of a Ford Excursion. It's roughly 44 gallons. That's where I fill that up. And this is my diesel tank. The standard stock diesel tank is right there. And then under the dash here, in here is kind of the brain of the system, the computer for the vegetable oil system. And that is my fuel pressure gauge. So regardless if I'm running diesel or vegetable oil, this is my fuel pressure gauge. And this is my fuel gauge for my Veggie tank. And then my standard diesel tank fuel gauge is right there. And this system works because at 165 degrees, vegetable oil has the same viscosity as diesel, and it burns exactly the same. So what we have done, me and my really good friend JP, we have done quite a bit of plumbing to make the engine's coolant run all the way back to this diesel, or the Veggie tank back here, and the engine's coolant heats up that vegetable oil to 165 degrees or above, and it is and then it switches over automatically, and then I'm burning Veggie. So hopefully that makes some sense. But anywho, I've got all this oil and I've got to get it into that tote right there. And then my other tote over here behind the tractor. And I'm going to be a little bit, I think these are 325 gallon totes. So I'm going to be a little bit shy as far as storage goes. But I figure as I use it, I could just add the remainder of these cubies right here as we go. But anyway, let's get to work. It's a heavy load. That's it's like 7,000 pounds sitting on top of that trailer, not including the trailer, of course. 7,000 pounds, really heavy. I undoubtedly spill a lot of oil every time I try to transfer some into that big tote. So I'm gonna attempt, and since I got so much to do, I'm gonna spill a lot probably. So I'm gonna attempt to make some sort of jumbo funnel out of this bucket here and see how that goes. I think maybe just cutting the bottom out of it might be the smartest way to go, but let's find out. Leon 3 EDC, shining brightly as usual. I used this knife I was cutting insulation with this today, actually. sharpen it with a rock from time to time in the creek. I cut buckets with it. I've cut open cans with it. I've from start to finish, I have processed a deer with this. Usually I clean it after doing projects like this before I use it for food prep. Bearforestknives.com if you want one. Bearforestknives.com. There we go. That ought to work as a funnel. My tote's got a little bit of debris on it back here sitting in the woods, but I think that'll be just fine. Lid off this. We'll stick that in there like that. The most ridiculous chicken ever. We call this one Big Mama. All right, nothing left to do but to do it. Here we go. Let's see how our funnel does. Two down, 198 to go. It's a lot of work. But when you think about it, this is $4,000 worth of fuel, basically. That's what it would cost me, the equivalent of diesel fuel. $4,000, that's not a bad day's work, if you ask me. All right, we've got one tote pretty much topped off. It's time to transition over to the other one. What I'd like to know from you guys is, does this make sense? You know, my truck gets 12 to 15 miles per gallon, and for like a giant, huge, heavy-duty truck that weighs nearly 9,000 pounds, right at 9,000 pounds, and can haul everything and anything that I want. My family can camp out in it. It does all the things, all the storage and whatnot. 12 to 15 miles per gallon. Does it make sense to be doing all of this? All the labor involved in the free fuel. While I don't pay dollars for this fuel to burn in my truck, it does cost me quite a bit of labor, as you can probably tell. Would it make more sense just to have a smaller, more economical, gas burning, fuel efficient vehicle? You know, a smaller truck that gets, 20 something miles per gallon, and the gas costs less than diesel does. What makes sense? I like what I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. But I have my doubts from time to time when I'm you know, knee deep in vegetable oil. I don't know. Sometimes I think, you know, man, well, you know, so I took this truck. Me and my buddy JP, he helped me a lot. He's the mechanic. He's the guru, the guy that knows the things about things. And I bought 3 trucks and I built this one. I bought 3 trucks that did not work, did not run. One of them had an engine, one of them had a body, one had an interior, so forth and so on. And it took me a year in all my spare time to build this truck the way that I want it, the way I like it. Quite a bit of money invested into it as well. I mean, you know, close to 20 grand probably total. But I've got an awesome, cool truck, and I really do enjoy it. I do enjoy driving it. I enjoy all the work that it can do and its capabilities. But it was a huge investment in time and money. I could have went out and bought a new truck, you know, a smaller truck for, let's say, you know, I don't know, whatever new trucks cost these days. I couldn't get anything comparable to that. A truck comparable to this one would be, I don't know, $75,000 maybe, you know, something like that, maybe more. Trucks are outrageous these days. But I could have bought a smaller truck, you know, something that got the job done for maybe 40 or less. And no energy involved, just money, just cash money. And I wouldn't have to, and I would just go to the gas station and fill up just like everybody else does and buy my gasoline at $3 something a gallon and not have to worry about all of this process. But I don't know, something about this is rewarding to me. It's fulfilling to me. I'm reusing some old cooking oil and I'm driving my truck down the road. And when I go on road trips, it's like I don't have to stop for gas. I just take the oil that I need and haul it in the back of the truck. Like we went to Florida not too long ago, and you know, I forget how many miles it was. Let's say it's 500 miles down there where we went. I get about 500 to 600 miles per tank. I could drive down there on one tank, and I could have about 40 gallons in the back of my truck to get us home. And that's pretty cool, you know, to not have to burn any diesel fuel, to not have to stop for gas at all. I do enjoy that a lot. So I think I'm going to continue this process. It is a lot of work, but like I said, I mean, this is a big job, but this represents, you know, without road trips eat up a lot of fuel, but daily driving, my normal stuff, this is a year's worth of daily driving for me. That my normal commuting kind of stuff, the stuff that I do on a weekly basis, road trips aside, a year's worth of fuel right here, right now that I've got in my possession. And that it's pretty valuable, I think. Anyway, I'm stalling. I'm chatting with you guys in order to put off the inevitable work that needs to continue. All right, I'm back at it. Back at it. All right, friends, you can see I've got a lot more left to do, but that's all I have for today's video. Please do all the things. I'd be really grateful for it. Specifically, share the video. Shares are always appreciated, very helpful. Thanks, guys. Can't wait to see you on the next one.